Hello guys, Braxcast time once again. This is the 97th episode of the Braxcast, and this is a pretty exciting one. There's a whole bunch of stuff that went on in the Rippafest this week, as opposed to the last couple of weeks where it's been a bit slow. Ended this week because we've got the launch of the Rippazine, the 6th issue of the Rippazine. The Rippafest winners have been announced, all of them. We're going to go over those. And then, of course, the RippleWorks animation crowdfund was reopened and it hit $100,000, which is a really cool thing. So we're going to get an animated trailer for the 6th issue of the Rippazine's short story, which is by Kanan White Eric July, and Marcos Martin. So we've got that information on that. And we're also getting a trailer for that at a future date, which is all really exciting stuff. And it's really cool that that happened when we got the Rippazine issue 6 announcement so soon and the ability to buy it. But like I said, I don't want to get too much into the introduction. We want to talk about what is actually in the news cycle for the Rippafest this week, and we will start with the Rippazine. So this is, of course, like any standard release of the Rippazine. You've got your standard edition, you've got your collector's edition as well. You've also got the CGC, some shirt options. I don't think you've got a poster, but might have a poster actually. Anyways, it's a pretty standard collection. One thing I do want to mention is that while I love the CGCs, I love the slabs, I've got like 4 boxes of them. Didn't get a slab for this one. I might get one for the collector's edition with some circumstances, but we'll get into that a little bit later. The thing I would say I dislike with the Rippazine is that it takes a while between them releasing the pre-order for it and it actually getting fulfilled. So I would like there to be a shorter turnaround so that way they can get these out quicker. And one of the bigger hindrances to that happening is the fact that you're doing the slabs and you gotta send them to Florida and then they gotta send them back to Texas and then they gotta basically put that into the fulfillment. So if you had the CGCs for like, let's say 1 year for the Rippazine done at the end of the year, after they're all fulfilled and sold, I think that would be the preferable way to do it. So that way the collectors can still get theirs, and that way the people who just want to read them can get them, and they can release them more consistently. Because this really needs to be consistently like a once a season thing. Like you've got winter 26, you've got like fall 26, you've got summer 26, so on and so forth. And that really can't be the case if you're waiting on the CGC slabs all the time. Well, I like them and I understand why they do them, because you do have the introduction of new characters and concepts, basically with the short story for every one of these so far. It's certainly it's going to be a hindrance to making this, like I said, a really consistent seasonal thing, which it really needs to be for it to like truly be the fan zine for the Rippaverse that I think it really ought to be. But we're also getting a concept art book for Kanan White, since the short story is going to be by Kanan White. And of course, he's made so much art, so much of the merchandise art, so much of the poster art, a lot of the posters. I think basically all 3 of the posters that you guys see when I'm live streaming are done by Kanan White. And I've got a bunch more across my apartment. I've got, so many shirts with his designs on them. So he's done so much art for the Rippaverse. Of course, he's the lead art editor for the Rippaverse. So having an art of Kanan White book is 100% justified. If anything, the thing that is really bad, not bad per se, is that we didn't get this art book sooner. But it's understandable the fact that now he's got 2 short stories, and decent chance we could even be getting some art from Saoirse's first issue proper with one that's just releasing, although I'm really skeptical on that. That's most likely not going to be the case, but we definitely will from that Saoirse short story. But anyways, getting into the short story for this issue of the Rippazine, number 6, is The Echoes of Siphion, and this is taking place basically in the wastelands of America. So as we have gone over in the live stream, we'll reiterate this, America splinters. Part of that is the Great War of Separation. And in the aftermath of the Great War of Separation, you have this area that basically on the map, it seems like its political jurisdiction is very vague, but it becomes a complete wasteland after the Great War of Separation. That is Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota. So basically like the northern Midwest. basically, is going to become a complete barren wasteland, and it's going to be ruled by corporations, and survival is basically going to be not an expectation, but an exception for a lot of people. And you do have this main character here, seems to have like this really interesting suit, or at least this is probably like one of the people like washing like one of the Talbury Corporation, because you've got the city called Tefrem, and it's owned by the Talbury Corporation. So this is like really dystopic Brave New World situation that we got going on. Very vague with what was mentioned. So we're going to have to get this book in our hands, read through. It's probably going to be about 16 pages or so to find out a little bit more about this region of the Rippaverse. And of course, I imagine Great War Separation number 3 and 4 is probably going to mention what happens to this region, but we'll get into specifics of this. But again, I definitely really like this, future timeline of the Rippaverse, where like America looks vastly different, but it's also in a way familiar. And it's also, of course, like really playing on a lot of concepts like, certain regions of the country becoming like barren wastelands, and like Texas becoming its own independent country, which has been talked about. Really interesting stuff. I love to see it expanded, and this is definitely going to be part of that expansion. Of course, you got this fantastic art by Kanan White. Eric July is writing. He's only gotten better as a writer since release of Item 1. We've got Marcos Martins, who's done so much color work for the Rippaverse, especially got to mention and shout out Norfolk: A Glorious Death and Zalon. He did fantastic work on those 2 books, and I'm sure he's going to bring that heat to this kitchen here, or keep the heat in the kitchen, however you want to phrase it. He's definitely going to bring his talent to these pages. Really excited to see this. This is probably going to be an absolute knockout, so we'll be really excited to see the trailer for this and get a little bit more information. And of course, we'll read the book or read the short story when we get the 6th issue of the zine. It'll be coming about like quarter 2, quarter 3 of 2026. But basically, that's basically it for the Rippazine. Rippaworks animation, but we're going to get into the winners of the Rippafest, and I do have all of the winners here. So the cover and pinup, there were 3 winners, so of course 3 basically in every category. So the first one was Mads Duck, who did a drawing of horsemen. You've got Lee Sands, who did another drawing of horsemen. And you've got Jaujo Del Mondes, I'm saying that wrong, they did a really nice pinup of Yaira. If I was judging, I would have given number 3 and number 1. But Mads Duck's got this really stylistic drawing of horsemen, and I understand why. That one, for sequential art, you got Philip Space doing, I believe, Zalon and Yaira face-off. You got Roberto Villacova doing a pretty nice black and white drawing. And then you've got Scribbles, who did this like really nice manga of Blue Shift having an encounter with Yaira, which I think, honestly, I would love to see a Blue Shift manga, one that's either canonical and just follows his story, or one where it's like a joke, like non-canon comic, webcomic, or web manga. I just love his style. I want him to do more stuff like that, and I'd love for him to have a paid gig with the Rippaverse doing like some sort of like Blue Shift manga, or basically any manga for the Rippaverse. So he's on the radar. He's very talented, so hopefully he does get something. Fan coloring, this was a piece by Kanan White, and the 3 winners for this were James Frank, Pedro Estalco, and Scribbles again, who won in 2 categories, so hats off to him. If he is him, a lady, then the same thing regardless. Of course, you got music winner, shout out to Evelay's Horseman theme, which I listened to, absolutely epic. Also, fan of the channel, so very much appreciate you. We're in live stream yesterday. Was on the Friday episode of Braxcast Live. Definitely love that. And of course, the community choice creator of the season was Mr. Snail, but we knew that a couple weeks ago when that was done just after the Rippafest had ended. And now, I had not mentioned the content creation category of this. It was the art and the music, because it's special because I'm one of the winners. So as you can see, this is really meta. It's a frame from my video, and it's a frame, you're seeing this in a video. So it's a very meta thing. But Velvet Room Publishing, the channel you're currently watching, Joker the Fool, the person who is currently disembodied hands, are currently on the screen very excitedly saying that I am the winner of the video essay creator category in content creation. So thank you so much for everyone who's watched. Thank you so much that I was even in the running for consideration of this. But you've got Volunteer's Hero, who is the lore creator, content winner. He did one on Accepts of Gods on the Rippaverse. And of course, you've got Merc Lounge, fan of the channel. his submission that was highlighted was Norfolk #1, but I loved his video on chasing ghosts. That was a really good one. Of course, he did use a frame of my portion of my video, or basically my video covering the Saints and Sinners concept art book to help him with that. But he's a very talented guy, very nice. You guys really ought to subscribe to him. Hopefully, I remember to put the link to his channel. He's only got 50 subs. Hopefully he gets at least 50 more, overtakes me. But anyways, congratulations to Volunteer Zero and MerQ Lounge, and also hats off, not hats off to myself, but I definitely appreciate having gotten that. And the video that I did was my Braxcast special episode, basically how to get into the Rippaverse. And it's a 23-minute video of me showing off all the Rippaverse books in this format and basically just rambling about which one I think you ought to read first. But basically, that's everything for this news cycle in the Rippaverse. Really, really exciting stuff, guys. Absolutely love to see like the news cycle come back. And of course, it's only going to get more intense. We're going to start getting fulfillment. But a lot of stuff just happened in tandem, and I absolutely love it when stuff like that happens. Of course, the fulfillment's going to be happening soon. We're getting those action figures really soon, so stay tuned for those, guys. And once I get that Dokkan card that comes with the action figures, there's also going to be a giveaway. So be sure to subscribe, follow the channel on YouTube, Substack, Twitter, wherever you're watching this, so that way you can not only watch the Braxcast, but stay in tune for that giveaway, which most likely will be coming in the coming weeks, maybe months. Just depends on when I can get all the logistics for it sorted out, when I actually have the stuff to give away. But anyways, going to leave it there. Hopefully you guys enjoy that one. Joker is...
Thank you for tuning in to the Braxcast. Be sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe to keep up with the Rippaverse.
When the Lamb had opened one of the 7 seals, I heard one of the 4 living creatures say, in a voice like thunder, "Come."